I'd like to ask all those, well, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask all those associated with the Honorable Judge Horace T. Ward to come forward. And if there are any jurists that are still here from the reception, to please also come forward and join us here at the podium. We've just finished a reception in honor of our honorees, and several folks were present, of whom were the Honorable Renee Glover of AHA, Paul Howard, our district attorney, Judge Hatchett, Judge Jasant, Judge Clarence Cooper, Judge Savannah Potter, Judge Harrison, retired from the Atlanta Municipal Court, Reverend Warnock of the Ebenezer Baptist Church, and Federal Judge Walker were also in attendance, in addition to many others. Judge Ward, and you all just come on around. No, not you, Judge. You stay here. If I missed any of the jurists, please let me know, and I'll make sure that I mention them. This way. All right. I have a proclamation from the City of Atlanta in honor of Judge Horace T. Ward, and it reads as follows. Whereas Horace T. Ward was born in LaGrange, Georgia on July 29, 1927, the only child of Minnie Ward, who was a domestic worker, because his mother lived with the white family for whom she worked, he lived with his maternal grandparents until he was 9. He went on to graduate and serve as valedictorian of East Depot Street High School in 1946. And whereas he received his bachelor's degree with honor from Morehouse College and earned a master's degree from Atlanta University, on September 29, 1950, he applied to law school at the University of Georgia. His application was forwarded to the Board of Regents, a procedure that was not followed for white applicants. Some 9 months later, UGA denied his application and he filed a lawsuit. And whereas in 1955, after serving 2 years in the United States Army, including a year in the Korean conflict, Horace T. Ward returned stateside and reactivated his lawsuit. He endured years of delays and legal maneuvering by the state's attorneys, and although in 1957 his lawsuit was dismissed, the case helped to lay the groundwork for desegregation. Whereas after completing his Juris Doctorate at Northwestern University Law School, he returned to Georgia and assisted Donald Lee Hollowell and Constance Baker Motley in their efforts to desegregate UGA. On January 6, 1961, a judge ordered UGA to admit 2 black students, Hamilton E. Holmes and Charlene Hunter, thus ending 175 years of segregation at the university. And whereas in the early 1960s, Horace T. Ward was a partner with the law firm of Hollowell Moore and Alexander Howard Moore, my uncle. His more than 50 years of public service included positions as Fulton County Assistant Attorney, an Assistant Attorney for the City of Atlanta, a Fulton County State Court Judge, the first African American to become a Superior Court Judge in Georgia, and the second African American to be elected to the Georgia State Senate. Whereas in 1979, President Jimmy Carter appointed him to a federal judgeship on the United States District Court for the Northern District of Georgia, thereby making him the first African American to sit on a federal bench in Georgia. He retired from the bench in 2012. And whereas his personal courage and tireless service to the people of Georgia and to the United States has deepened and strengthened the application for justice for all people. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of the City of Atlanta, hereby proclaim this day, May 6, 2013, as Judge Horace T. Ward Day in our fair city, in witness whereof I have set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Atlanta to be hereunto affixed. Congratulations, Judge Ward.
to the President of the Council, Honorable Cecil Mitchell, Councilman Bond, Councilman Martin. I want to thank you very kindly for this honor. I'm glad to have had this opportunity to be with you. As Councilman Bond indicated, I did my service to the city of Atlanta. I was once assistant city attorney for 2 years. I'm glad to be here today with my classmate and colleague in the state Senate, Senator Leroy Johnson and his family. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for presenting me this honor. Thank you very kindly.
You're welcome. Are there any comments from any of the jurists here?
I just thank you, Mr. President, and to the members of the City Council, and to all of you who have gathered in this place today, to my fellow judges, elected officials, all of you, my brothers and sisters, for honoring this silent warrior. I mean, a man of incredible strength and courage. And I just thank you for celebrating him, because if I have said so many times, and I'll make this very brief, I am a product of the sacrifices that Judge Ward and so many made, that I stand on shoulders of mighty, mighty, mighty generations. And we should never forget that this silent warrior was in the trenches and made sacrifices that we can't even begin to count. And so to you, to the members of the City Council, and all of you who've gathered here today, Judge Ward, we are grateful that God put you in this place at this time, and that our lives have intersected with yours, and we are the beneficiaries of your labor. Thank you very much.
Are there any other comments from our colleagues? Or
I just wanted to take this moment to celebrate you, Judge Ward, because you know, I would not be standing here as a graduate of the University of Georgia Law School if it were not for your work, your sacrifice,
Yes.
And your humility,
Yes.
and your steadfastness. I learned a lot about you, obviously, in the history books and through kind of the verbal history that gets exchanged within the legal community and even beyond. But the real lessons I learned about who you were, I learned from Attorney Donald Hollowell in my many conversations with him during my lifetime. And the thing that I remember most about what he taught me about you was that you were the vanguard at the University of Georgia. You didn't go to the University of Georgia, but when you finished your law degree, you came back and joined the team
Yes.
that ultimately provided for the opportunity for 2 students to enter the University of Georgia. You could have gone on and done something else. You could have been bitter. You could have said, I'm not going to get involved in that. But you said, this is something that is the righteous thing to do and the right thing to do for our community and for our country. And so if you've not done that, I dare say I would not be standing here as the president of the Atlanta City Council. I would not be standing here with the ability to say that I'm a University of Georgia Law School graduate. So thank you, Councilmember Bond, for honoring Judge Ward. Thank you all for being here. I certainly take my hat off to you and salute you and thank you.
First of all, I would certainly like to ditto everything that has been said and make an effort not to be redundant, but to say it is a great privilege to live and have lived in this day. I well remember when Justice Ward and Johnson were going through those struggles, and the thing that stands out for me that we often retract from doing is that he fought the battle alone if he had to. He didn't have the support that he needed, but he was his supporting entity. So it's a great moment for me to have seen that, stood with him, watched him, and benefit from him. We stand in a unique position in our day. Justice Benham said the other day, we are the first flow of judges coming through as black judges. And Horace Ward is a dynamic leader of that. And I'm grateful and thankful that I've been able to see him do that, to know him, to touch him, to feel him, and to understand the struggle. And it encourages us in my generation to keep on going. I would not only have enjoyed the benefits that I did at the church that I still serve, I would not have been able to serve on the traffic court of City of Atlanta, to have practiced as first black assistant solicitor in the state court of Fulton County on the Henson McAuliffe. All of that goes down to this generation that was ahead of us, but we were able to live with it and benefit from them. It's a special privilege, and I cannot be too grateful and too articulate to have benefited and seen what I've seen, know, and feel. Thank you, Judge Ward.
My name is Charles Black. I happen to have served as the second chairman of the Atlanta Student Movement. I spoke with Lonnie King on the way over here, who was the first chairman. He was unable to be here because he was sick. But he would want me to say thanks to Horace Ward for getting us out of jail. We'd probably still be in jail if it were not for Horace and Donald Hollowell in that firm. I had the honor when I started a consultant firm some years later with Lonnie King, Julian and John Lewis to move into the office that they had occupied over on what was Hunter Street. And I felt awed at every moment that I was in that space. I just want to say thanks again, Horace, for all that you've done.
Thank you, Councilman, Judge Ward, honored guests, friends, loved ones, members of the City of Atlanta. I'm Savannah Potter, and when I was a law student at Rutgers University School of Law in New Jersey, Judge Ward's law firm, Hollowell, Ward, Moore, and Alexander, was kind enough to extend invitations to law students, especially those who had found their way north and wanted to come back home for the summer to work as a law student intern. Before I could accept it, Judge Ward had been appointed as the first African-American judge to the civil court of Fulton County. I worked in the law firm, and just as Charles Black said, all we did was to try to get people out of jail who were performing civil rights, very important civil rights functions. In January 1978, Louis R. Slayton appointed me as the first African-American woman prosecutor for the state of Georgia, assistant district attorney rather. And I wanted to be sworn in, and so Mr. Slayton said, well, which Superior Court judge would you like to swear you in? I said, well, of course, Horace T. Ward, because he's the first African-American Superior Court judge. So I am very honored that I began my representation of the state of Georgia under the oath that I took before Judge Horace T. Ward. And Judge Horace T. Ward's law firm, Hollowell, Ward, Moore, and Alexander, still has the reputation of being responsible for enforcing the civil rights laws all over the state of Georgia, Alabama, and the South. I am very proud to stand here today, Judge Ward, and I have an additional hat as the diversity chair, co-chair of the American Bar Association Senior Lawyers Division. And I am very honored to represent the American Bar Association Senior Lawyers Division in this most dynamic and awesome occasion. Judge Ward, thank you. You have farmed the way, you have fueled the way for not only many lawyers, but you have fueled the way for those who were there to enforce the civil rights of the United States of America. Thank you.
Hello, I am Sharon Lane. I am the legal assistant to Judge Horace T. Ward. I was, and I still am. Judge Ward hired me some 38 years ago, And I traveled with him on his path, his journey through the civil rights era, and now I am so proud to be among the ones to say thank you, because I do thank him for bringing me through this and for letting me be with him during this era. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vincent Jones. I was born in the English Avenue community, the community that Judge Ward began his political career, becoming the first state senator from the 39th district. And this man gave me an opportunity as a kid to be with he and his family, to put out posters, to make the teas and various meetings, and to serve as one of the first black pages in the Senate. That prompted me to become a political science poli-sci major and to direct campaigns of my own since that time. I would just like to thank him. I have agitated Councilmember Barnes for, I know, a couple of years about we needed to do this, and I am just so happy that at this time we have done it. Thank you so much.
Are there any other comments? All right. Congratulations, Justice Ward. Now we have to perform our second function, which is take a picture. So we need to step up so the council can take it right here, sir.